a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hope your weekend's going fantastic. A great Saturday. LSU wins basketball. They move to 11-0. They outlast Louisiana Tech. A couple of times now we've seen this LSU team really struggle offensively in the first half. You kind of get the feeling the book is out, right? You've got the teams forcing LSU to take jump shots, and this is just not a good shooting team. But for the second consecutive such game, like last Saturday against Georgia Tech, LSU really put the clamps down in the second half, which was mightily impressive what LSU was able to do in the second half. Aided a bit by the fact that Lofton got into foul trouble and went to the bench for, I think it was around the 9-minute mark and didn't come back to the under 4. So Lofton played just 27 minutes in the game because of foul trouble. But Tari Eason sealed it with the big dunk, led LSU again with 21 points, 8 boards. Pinson had 10, Days had 13. So they found a way after allowing 39 first half points. After allowing 35 first half points, LSU allowed just 22 in the second half. So really clamped down in the second half. It was great to see. Tigers move to 11-0 on the season. Nice game for the Tigers to go on the road and get a good win. And then you probably saw as well, Blake Baker won't return to LSU. He made the announcement via social yesterday. Linebackers coach who really had done look, he was DC at Miami, came in as a linebackers coach, and you really saw the development of guys like Damone Clark and Baskerville and Mike Jones later in the season. They found a role for him. And I know he wanted to stay. I do know that. And I know he had actually turned down 4 lower-level DC jobs. And he was and might still be very heavily in the mix at SMU for their DC job. But I know his preference was to stay. His wife's family's from here. I think his wife played soccer here, maybe. He wanted to stay, but what transpired, I don't know. I don't know if it's Brian Kelly telling me he wasn't going to be retained or if he ultimately decided to take another job. But Blake Baker not retained. So, and then it's game day, of course. 1 second, y'all. 1 second, YouTube. 1 second. There we go. And then what, baby? Oh, Erica's not happy about the Blake. Because his kids went to St. Jude. Yeah, they all go there. They're a good family. Yeah. So Blake Baker won't be retained or won't be back, and then it's game day. Saints and Bucks tonight, Sunday Night Football. See if Saints who've had. Saints are 3-0 against the Bucks with Tom Brady in the regular season. Of course, they lost the playoff game last year, but beat them twice in the regular season. Beat them down in Tampa last year. Beat them in New Orleans on Halloween. So, see if they can get it done today. So, Ashari, good morning. Understanding Blake Baker not being retained. Yeah, listen, I'll tell you, man. You got to keep in mind, if you're Brian Kelly, you are disassociating this program with Ed Ogeron. And I know, I don't think this has been as public yet, but on top of the coaching staff, which are very public, which everybody knows, if it's Tommy Moffitt or Mickey Joseph or Corey Raymond or Blake Baker, I think what hasn't been as public is a lot of the people in the building and on the support staff. I mean, there's been other guys like Colin D'Angelo and some of the analysts who aren't Carter Sheridan, or maybe Mangus is out and they elevated Sheridan for the bowl game, but I don't think he'll be back. Anyway, but a lot of people in the football office, like in staff role, not on-field staff. You know what I mean? Like people that work in the football office, like in the recruiting office, and even like the people who coordinate events. And I mean, people whose names you probably don't know, but who have been there, some of them 20 years, are being let go. I mean, it's one of those things where it's very clear, and honestly, y'all, that conversation we heard a lot about, like early. I mean, I've told y'all that I started hearing that boosters were being asked about buyout money after the UCLA game, and it was around that time that you started to hear about like a total upheaval, like complete culture change, like everybody gone. So there, you can't fire Ed Ogeron and then like retain half his staff. You can't. If you're disassociating, there's other good coaches, and so if you want this new guy to come in and completely change the culture that's been built around LSU and that has been so ingrained for 20 years, there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations. There's going to be a lot of change, and that's happening right now. Debbie Jenkins, Kevin Abear, Blaine Smith, bowl season having some upsets. BYU and Jackson State lose. Was Jackson State an upset? I really don't know. And BYU, look, that's bowls. So much of bowls are motivation. Who wants to be in the bowl game? And BYU didn't want to be in that bowl game. BYU was a win away from potentially being in the New Year's Six. They ended up in Shreveport. Come on, motivation. Who wants to be there? Kyle Gallo, Denver Harris going after the A&M money. Why didn't Kelly go after him harder? I heard that once Ogeron was out and once Kelly was hired, that they weren't going after. I mean, that's Tack Miner's kid, right? Supposedly they weren't recruiting him hard. I don't know. Samuel Merrifield, don't you think it's weird both Alabama and Ohio State's highly rated quarterbacks can't translate to the NFL? Weird how that works. I mean, Mac Jones is really good. I mean, he's had a really good rookie year. And I wouldn't throw the towel in on Justin Fields halfway through a rookie season. I think he's going to be a really good player. Ryan Amanda Guidry, what's up? Charlie Gale, Blake Murnane, good morning. From North Carolina. Read an article on Football Scoop, said Kelly is looking at reuniting with Cincinnati OC Mike Denbrock about hiring Chiefs linebacker coach Matt House for DC, who apparently coached Kentucky prior to KC. Thoughts? I know the guys are on Football Scoop, and they are very, very, very connected in football coaching circles. Very connected. So I believe them. And I just have a lot of faith in Brian Kelly hiring staff. And that also makes sense if you're why they're waiting, right? You're going to wait till the end of the season. And like we talked about, if you weren't going to hire before the early signing period, there's no rush now. You can wait till you can wait till the second week of January now, and then have a month to put a full court press in before early signing day, or before the February signing day. Dennis Payne, good morning. Dale Broussard, as many as 24 academic casualties, possibly even scholarship DB. Coach O should have been dismissed for cause. Yes, Dale, and they wanted to and they had cause. Like I've told y'all, they had cause for sure based on his contract. But they would have been in for a very, very long fight that they were not willing to fight. And I don't blame them. Hey, Dad. Good morning, Brian Broom, Deborah Cowart, Todd Harris. Just talked about timeline for the hires, most likely. Joseph Guidry, NFL changing COVID protocols so COVID doesn't ruin the playoffs. I'm actually okay with that. If you're vaccinated, okay. And we've not yet seen a case of anybody associated with the NFL getting COVID and having any severe symptoms. And How is it different when people get any other sickness and continue to play and are heralded? That we don't need to go down the road. But if you're vaccinated, you should be able to play. I mean, unless if you're symptomatic. Would you compare Kelly at LSU to Peyton at the Saints as far as cleaning house? It's not exactly the same. No. But you got to keep in mind, man, it's. Bennett side is Erica decorate for Christmas. Good morning, Bennett. It's not the same as in the NFL, but you just suffice to say, like, LSU went from Nick into Les, and remember, Les carried over a lot of the same people in football ops, and even some staff members, and was here then from 05 to 2016, and Ed was already on staff, so Ed just kept everything the same. I mean, there's been no change in almost 20 years. And a lot of things that, like, put it to you this way. Is it fair to say, let me put it to you this way, is it fair to say that LSU could have done more over the last 20 years? Despite all the success that they've had, right? Despite the 3 championships, but even start with less. 2 championships, played for another. Is it fair to say LSU should have done more over that time? If that's the case, and then you look at all of the off-field things that were kind of embarrassing, I get needing an upheaval, and that's what Scott Woodward is came here to do, and he got his guy in place to do it. Let's see, Jason Trump, good morning. Big Chrisdom 24, good morning. Star Hill Stunners Trivia Carter, LSU Sway, Cliff Nelson, good morning. Goat 9, welcome to the Scone Zone. Happy Sunday. The Ghastly Gamer, what's up? Jason Trump, we are a basketball school. LSU look great in the second half. Roger Dodger, good morning. Calico, Cliff. Glenn Garner, I'm on time. Who dat? Any word on Gardner Johnson? Supposed to play. Chase James, good morning. Kyle Milliken, good morning. Did you see the BS about the New Jersey congressman questioning President Tate, saying Brian Kelly's contract may violate the tax code? I did. Saw that report on Thursday or Friday. They're trying to say that basically paying coaches what they are, schools should lose their tax exempt status. I'm oversimplifying it, but that'll never happen. Ghastly Gamer, you can't wear out Kentucky or Bama like that. They won't be able to come back against better teams. So, Ghastly Gamer, yes, there's validity there, but the benefit is when you play defense the way that LSU does, you're always going to be in the game because they can clamp down on teams, and they give that kind of effort, and they'll create transition buckets, and they'll play at a frenetic pace. But if the game gets slowed down into a half-court game, they're not going to be very effective in the half-court because they don't have shooters and they don't have anybody that can go get their shot anywhere on the floor. That was Adam Miller, and he's hurt. So, look, they're just not a good shooting team, man. LSU was 39% from the floor last night. That's brutal. I think they were 23 of 59 for 39% from the floor. I mean, yeah, you're not going to beat the better teams on your schedule like that. I mean, if you have those types of days. Jordan Davis get 5 sacks on Brady. I hope so, Glenn. That would be fun to see. Carol Welsh, let's see, Mogo. Great morning, BTR. Back from Mass, back home. I'm going to go to 11:30 Mass, so slept in a little bit. We had the Keller Christmas party here yesterday, so all of Erica's family, her parents, her sisters, their husbands, kids, nieces, nephews, cousins, all that, aunts, uncles, all here last night. So we had a good time. Ben Giat, Joseph Armato. Gonna do it for you. Come on, people. 64 viewers, 10 likes, do better. We're up to 190. 190 viewers there on YouTube, 36 likes. Maybe please smash that like button. We'd appreciate that. Connor O'Neill, good morning. Does LSU have the capacity to keep up with Bama and A&M and NIL? If organized, they can do well enough, put it to you that way. Grant Hughes, good morning. Jason Ray Hill, Sr., hope Kelly and LSU get this NIL moving in the right direction. Stuart Boudreaux, good morning, Dad Show. Ryan Rogers, good morning from Waco, Texas. Thank you to Ryan. Cody Boudreaux, how did the Baker news get so twisted yesterday? He's staying, then he's not. I don't know that it got twisted. Forgive me. Yesterday I was a little disconnected because we were getting ready for the party. I just saw Blake Baker's post. I know Blake wanted to stay. I know he had multiple offers he turned down. So we'll see if he has his landing spot. I do know SMU was very interested in hiring him as defensive coordinator. Let's see if that got done. All right, they hired somebody. So SMU hired somebody. Scott Simmons from Liberty. So I don't know what happened there. No Saint. Are you worried about LSU dropping the ball in NIL in the future? Yes. Greg T. BYU couldn't pass the ball. It was raining sideways. Survive 623. Morning. Do you think Woodward made part of his search? He was the new coach to come and clean house top to bottom. Yes. Catch Jake Paul knock out Woodley. I did not. I just saw the picture of Tyron Woodley laying face down in the ring, which I don't like watching these fights with MMA guys trying to box or boxing guys trying to fight MMA. They're different disciplines. Like, they're different disciplines. I mean, anyway, I've seen it before the other way with boxers trying to get in, go fight MMA, and they get submitted in about 3 seconds. It's anyway. Devin Johnson, where's the free poster? What free poster? Brooke Bordeaux, good morning. COVID finally got me, so go live as much as possible, please. Thank you. You got it, Brooke. Hope you're feeling okay. Mark Allen, you heard it here first. Matt hates Shreveport. LOL, just Jake. I don't like Shreveport. Oh, you're talking about because of the Independence Bowl. Yes, like, it's true, though. I mean, BYU was a game away from being in the New Year's Six, and they ended up in Shreveport in the Independence Bowl. Like, that's not a great reward for a team. It's disappointing. For some teams, going to Shreveport would be awesome, just being at a bowl game and having that opportunity. It's all about perspective. Brian and Andy Pinton, good morning from Winsboro, boot up. Cody Boudreaux, Jacob Hibbard, morning, Matt. How do you feel about Cincinnati's OC being ours potentially? Think they've done a really good job, especially if that relationship's already there with Brian Kelly. I'd be down with it, but you're going to wait till after the playoffs, so that's cool. Patrick P., good morning. Cody Boudreaux, Matt, what's that shirt, Kath? It's Cali High. Damon Hinderberger went to the game last night. Great game. There was a pretty good crowd there, it looked like. Or what they call it, the grocery sack. Jacob Hibbard, has LSU started to adjust to NIL? I don't know. Brian Pike, on top of the Brennan returning, genuinely curious. Would you rather have a veteran quarterback that knows the roster or a transfer quarterback that's been in Brian Kelly's offense already? Who's the transfer that's been in Brian Kelly's offense already, and what is Brian Kelly's offense? That's what you're missing. If Tommy Reese had come and was going to be the play caller, okay, but he's not. So you're bringing in a new OC with new ideas, a new play caller. It's going to be new no matter what. Jeffrey Johnson, this is what you hire Brian Kelly for, let him make decisions. Yes. Glenn Garner, I would give up Thomas and third and fourth picks for Watson. Grab a receiver late. Yeah, so look, man. So he's talking about it for the Saints to trade for Deshaun Watson. So here's the thing, Glenn. you're not getting Deshaun Watson for Michael Thomas a 3 and a 4. That's not happening. Like, I would do the deal you just proposed, but that's not happening. Anyone who trades for Deshaun Watson is going to give up multiple first round picks. That's not even debatable. You're talking about a franchise NFL quarterback. You're not getting him for a receiver, a 3 and a 4. Like, you've got to wrap your mind around the fact that if you're going to trade for Deshaun Watson, it's going to cost you multiple first round picks and multiple players. So you're going to unload way more than Thomas, a 3 and a 4. Like, they would laugh you out the building if that's what you were offering. Mike Denbrock is Mike Denbrock coming to LSU? I saw the report from Football Scoop. Football Scoop has good info. Those guys do a really good job. I believe them. Pat Huseman, Jared Addison, what's up with the Mad House stuff? Still Wikipedia's LSU DC. I missed a lot yesterday, apparently, being all in on this party. Matt, do you think we'll ever see healthy Zion, or is it trending he may not end well? I think we will. Scott McClendon, Jonathan Martin, what's up, y'all? What's up? Thomas Tapp and Breeze didn't want to take a knee during the anthem, dropped 13 passes from Breeze against Tampa in the playoffs. He didn't drop 13 passes? Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Anyway, it's freaking ridiculous. Professional football players don't tank. Christ almighty. Joel Smith, Isaac Landry, Kirk Taylor, Dale Broussard. How long before Verge is released? He's not going to be. He's Scott Woodward's guy. If they were going to fire Verge, they would have done it last year. Chance Babin, Ron Ritchie, good morning. Joseph Guidry, what's the difference from vaccinated and asymptomatic? I don't know. I'm not answering COVID questions. Todd Harris, Brian Kelly, only be in a few weeks, and he was able to keep recruiting class. Saban has always gotten a few, and now Jimbo. Give Brian Kelly an entire year, figure out NIL, and the boot will be locked up. Okay. Craig Dugas, it's good to finally see people are coming around to LSU basketball school. You're welcome. Craig, you have been waving the banner for LSU as a basketball school for quite some time now. You have. Imagine Cam Thomas one more year with this team. You know, I'm curious. I thought about that, but the thing about Cam is Cam wasn't really active on the defensive end, and would you sacrifice that for the offense? Maybe. But then again, when you have a guy that just has the forever green light, and you don't have a lot of sharing on the offensive end, how would that go over? And remember, there were a lot of games where Cam didn't exactly have the highest shooting percentage, but he would find a way to get his. That's because they didn't have any other scoring. They're just scoring in different ways this year. Jeremy Kling, good morning. Ashari, Matt, what was poured? Don't hold out. What was poured? What, the party last night? I drank some Weller 12, some Buffalo Trace, had some Angel's Envy. I kind of changed it up a little bit. Everybody kind of had whatever they want. You come over to the party at my house, take whatever you want. Raed Abdel Majid, LSU head coach and AD, no good job football. I mean, I think they're doing a good job. Kyle DeVille, what's your opinion on Texas A&M recent 5-star recruits? What's your opinion on their team going forward? They just signed the number 1 class in the country. Jimbo's building a really talented roster. See if he can win big with it. I believe that A&M is one of those schools, like LSU was for a long time, that has all of the resources to be really good if they ever figured it out. And Jimbo's putting the talent on the field. There's no doubt. See if he can win. I mean, when you stack 4 consecutive years of top 5 classes on top of each other, that's when you have a roster that looks like Bama or LSU or Georgia. And they're getting there. See if they can win with it. Lee Allen, that Tiger D last night. Good morning. Yep, they were awesome, man. It's fun to watch. Let's see, Craig. I will say it was a clean hit, but I still think there's a level of rigged to the Jake Paul fights. Woodley would land combos and hold off. It was weird. Todd Harris. You see any Notre Dame players transferring to play for Brian Kelly? Probably. Steven Schneider. Morning, Matt. I thought last night with ULL winning, there was a huge first win for Coach DeSormo. Okay. It was the New Orleans Bowl, man. I don't mean to completely poo-poo it, but it's what it is. It's the New Orleans Bowl. Chris Rowland, are there any recruits we will be going after we haven't heard about yet? Probably, Chris. I mean, for the February signing period, we've got 11 more players you can sign. On the opposite end of that, Derek Lewis, the man, got some power punches. You know, it's crazy, bro. Like, I think about Derek Lewis, and I just can't help but think about Sean Jordan. I sat front row in New Orleans and watched Sean Jordan jump, spin, kick Derek Lewis in the side of the head and knock him unconscious. Like, how is Sean Jordan not well, anyway. Brian Arsenault, have you locked down Kelly on a weekly AFR segment once the season starts? New coach, new opportunity. I don't know that I'll ask, but I don't know that he's going to do radio or certainly not weekly radio or anything like that. But I'll ask. No, have not locked that down. Chewy Gutierrez, is the speculation about Butti leaving real or just an assumption since others have left? Chewy, I've talked about that for a while now here. It's very real. They're going to have to do a sell job to get him back. The people I've spoken with have essentially said that if Kayshon Boutte returns, it's just a legacy thing. That he's a Louisiana guy who loves the NFL-LSU thing and wants to be part of that, and wants to win at LSU and all that sort of stuff. And also, you know, talking to some NFL scout type people, the feeling is that he's already done enough, kind of like Stingley, right? Where he's going to be a top half of round one guy next year regardless, if he's at LSU or wherever he is. He'll go to the combine and run fast and jump high and be a first round pick. So, you know, what else is there out there for him? Are there NIL opportunities at other schools? Are there chance maybe to win a championship at other schools that he doesn't have at LSU? I mean, all that's out there. They're going to have to convince him. There's no doubt. Truett Glass, morning Scone. You're killing it lately. Keep it going. Thank you, Truett. Appreciate you watching. Jason Rivas, good morning. Good morning. Todd Harris, Paul Walston. Craig Dugas has been booted up. He has. Jay Rochelle here in, let's see. Chance Babin, love seeing Harrison win the Bowerman Award. Yeah, that's like the track and field Heisman, right? Saw that. So Jumpman Harris, Coinbase soon. So Dale, for Coinbase, and for many larger exchanges, you have to hit certain daily volume in trading for 90 days consecutively, and there's a listing fee. And listing fees for different, so I'm in crypto. Listing fees for different exchanges range from $50,000 to $1 million. So, yes, the objective is to be on Coinbase eventually. No, that's not coming in the immediate short term. What will happen is we'll continue to get on many of the top 15, top 20 exchanges, which will continue to expose Gamecoin to other markets. For example, we just announced this week that we're going on to L Bank, and that's going to happen before the end of the year. So possibly this week, maybe next. But L Bank is a very popular international crypto exchange, so like big in European markets. So we could start to target market toward European crypto users, and then go to like European athletes, like soccer, or cricket, or things like that. So you're just exposed to different markets altogether. Ashari, good morning. Joe Walters, what do you think about Eason starting to give us more offense at the start of the game? He's been your best offensive player so far this year. So, yes, I'm for it. I would much rather LSU not get into big holes in the first half. Craig Dugat, finally tried Russell's Reserve Private Select. I think it's my whiskey of the year. Can't believe it took me 3 years to finally get one and try it. All right, my eyes are open. I'll be on the lookout. The one big score I got this week, I got 2 this week. Got an E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. And the Wild Turkey Masters Keep. This is the one I'm super pumped to try. The Wild Turkey Masters Keep. Hang on. I'm excited about this one. It's a toasted barrel, and it is 101 proof. I am fired up. I mean, obviously, Wild Turkey's Eddie Russell. Russell are the same people, so very, very, very excited to try that one. Batch 0001, Rickhouse 6, proof 101. Fired to try that one. I'm going to bust that one open soon. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. 232 watching on YouTube. Yes, sir. Smash that like button, YouTube. We appreciate y'all. Facebook, we've got 146 watching on Facebook. How about this for a morning scone? And nobody's asking about the Saints today. Are people not interested in... We're not interested here in Saints Bucks today? Let's see. Armstrong grappling. What evidence do you have that the sole reason Bama and A&M beat us at the early signing period was due to better NIL plan? Someone could say LSU fans are simply whining. So when I'll put it to you this way. It's easy for you with an anonymous name who's clearly a fan of one of those schools to say, what evidence do you have that illegal activity is taking place, knowing full well that no one is going to disclose their illegal activity that is taking place. But suffice to say, when those conversations are had, people are talking to each other, and those conversations get related. And it's easy to see how stuff's put together. Look, LSU's bought players in the past. Absolutely. Absolutely have. In many different sports. And so have A&M, and so have Bama, and so has everybody. But A&M and Alabama have gotten a head start on NIL stuff, such that they are signing kids effectively to offer sheets, NIL offer sheets, when they're being recruited. Like, kids know how much they're going to make when they commit or sign. So, it's a big selling point. The clearest example I can give you, Armstrong grappling, is Jacoby Matthews. Jacoby Matthews was committed to LSU. He had a Final Six that did not include Bama or A&M. Commits to LSU. Goes to an elite camp where the Alabama kid who signed the linebacker out of Virginia was there. Tells Jacoby Matthews about the NIL offer sheet that he has from Alabama. Jacoby Matthews decommits from LSU, and all of a sudden now he's considering Bama and A&M. Why do you think that is? Kid wants to go to LSU. He's a Louisiana kid, wants to go to LSU. Really hard to turn down 6 figures when you've never seen that kind of money before. What kind of evidence do you have? Out to Boot, good morning. Dwayne Boudreaux, good morning. Jared Addison, good morning. Michael Tolliver, good morning. Love Scone and T. Favorite moment of the podcast when you said, when Nick Saban is the underdog, you're effed. I LOL'd along with T-Bob. Great stuff. It's so true, bro. Nick Saban's the underdog. You're screwed. It's over. Let's see. George Reitmeyer, what's up? Matt, the Penelope, Louisiana Select is tough for me to drink. Any suggestions? That's surprising. Well, I love toasted barrel whiskey. That's a toasted barrel whiskey. So maybe you want something sweeter. Try a wheated whiskey. I don't know how. Try. I don't know how much you want to spend. So Larceny, for example. Larceny is a wheated bourbon that you can find anywhere, and it's like $25-$30. That, or I would say try Basil Hayden. Basil Hayden is a milder bourbon. Or something like Sazerac. Sazerac is a rye. Maybe you just like something with that sort of spicier characteristic. That's what rye is. So try those. Hang on one second. Drew's back next week. I'll be back in 30 seconds. I'm not quite done. All right. Let's see. Did you see the video of Wade in the locker room? I did. Boot the F up. Loved it. 2455 Rockstar. T-Bob's burnt hand. When will we start hearing about bowl opt-outs? You've already heard some. Ultimate Warrior. Good game yesterday. Shout out to ULL. Yeah, it was an entertaining game. Ryan Pike. Not that there's anybody specific. Food for thought. Oh, that's a good pick. Let's see. Has all the smoke blown away from Watson yet? Will it clear up the issues before next season? Remember, Cody, he has not been disqualified by the NFL. The Houston Texans are choosing not to play him, and he has told them he doesn't want to play in Houston anymore. The NFL has not suspended Deshaun Watson. So he's still able to go play. Now, will someone trade for him with all the legal issues looming potentially? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Ultimate Warrior. Good morning. Scone, what are your thoughts on T-Bob's dance video? I've not seen T-Bob's dance video. Not sure now that I want to see T-Bob's dance video. Rourke Steele. Matt from Monroe. Good morning. Tyler Clavel, thoughts on ULL's bowl win? Nice win, I guess. New Orleans Bowl. I'm not poo-pooing. It's just the New Orleans Bowl. It's just not that big of a deal. For that program, it is, and that's great. I always cheer for Louisiana schools. I do. I want them to win. I want them all to win. LSU Sway, Jonathan Taylor MVP. Man, he's running like... I mean, it's going to be a quarterback because it's always a quarterback, but Jonathan Taylor was awesome last night. Do you think he locked it up? Hell no, he didn't lock it up. Come on, man. You still got 3 weeks to go in the season. There's no way he locked up the MVP with 3 weeks to go in the season. Hope we can still land Perkins now. Yeah. Danny Braywick. Will they screw Chase out of Rookie of the Year like Jefferson? Probably Danny, because with the way Mac Jones is playing on a winning team, he's probably going to win it. For the same reason that... Herbert won it last year. How many more O-linemen and linebackers should Kelly try to get? O-linemen, if you can get another transfer, that would be good. I mean, you signed 4 high school players, and then you've got Miles Frazier. That's 5. 5 offensive linemen should be good, unless if you can get a starter to come in and transfer in. Linebackers, all they got right now is DeMario Tolan. So they have got to go recruit linebackers because Damone Clark's gone, Baskerville's gone. I'm curious to see what Mike Jones elects to do. see what Mike Jones elects to do. Brennan back in engagement in 1 week. How about that week, right? Yeah, for those that missed it, Miles Brennan put an engagement video, or LSU put it out, I guess, or Miles put it out. But he proposed to his girlfriend at the 50-yard line at Tiger State. Like, he walked through the locker room, through the tunnel, out to midfield, and got on the knee and proposed to her. So, anyway. Cody Boudreaux, Coinbase blocked me in 2016 because I purchased something overseas in Bitcoin. Ever centralized exchanges, that is the downside. I think I saw something at Buffalo Trace Distillery won Best of 2021. Them and Four Roses are most definitely on my tour list. Let's see. Brennan's not playing the bowl game, correct? Correct, not playing in the bowl game. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played. You gotta keep in mind, Miles Brennan hasn't played football since the Missouri game when he got hurt. You know, like, he hasn't played football since October of 2020. Ken Smith, let's see. Cody Boudreaux, unboxing a whiskey for the first time is like undressing a woman for the first time. Nothing better. I don't know that I would say that I agree with that, Cody. Like, let's not get crazy with that. Yeah, no, I flatly disagree. I hope that comment is draped in hyperbole, because no. I love whiskey, but let's no. Let's see. Robert Cooley, good morning. Ken Smith, I'm okay with Brian Kelly's doing. The coaching staff got to break eggs to make an omelet. Micah Hurd still having a Drew Brees hangover, Matt. Hopefully I'll get back into the Saints next season. Micah, I don't think it's so much a Brees hangover because when the Saints were 5-2 and they beat Tampa on Halloween, we were feeling pretty good. But when Jameis got hurt, it unraveled. Garrett Wagner, why haven't we heard Jake Peets' name in a while? I figured he would have been let go by now. They got to have someone to call plays during the bowl game, so it'll be Peets. I mean, he is still under contract. Jesse Brown, Matt, love my Saints, but without Peyton today, it's going to be very difficult. I think most fans realize that. Yeah. And with basically a practice squad roster. Tony Janusa, do you think the Saints would have made a run last year in the playoffs if it wasn't for Cooks' fumble? It's hard to boil it all down to one play. Like, I would actually go, Tony, and say the Saints really put themselves in that spot with the 2 early punt returns by Deontay Harris where they had the penalties. The penalty that brought one back and the other where they returned it and things settled for field goal, you know. They had their shot early in that game. But yeah, and the Cooks fumble was a massive play. And I do think, well, hang on. Okay. As always, shout out to Brock, y'all. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. After Hours Clinic is open today. And Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Fired up, man. Y'all give us a shout at Hudco. I know we're heading toward the holidays, and a lot of people are thinking about other things, but someone you know, you got a tarp on your roof? Let's get rid of those blue tarps, man. Maybe you need a roof inspection. Give us a shout. HudcoRoofing.com. 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 Let's see. Danny Braywick, Saints match up well with the Bucks. Lattimore shuts down Evans. No AB. Pound the ball. They can win. I think defensively the Saints could certainly be in it. Lattimore does match up well with Mike Evans, has throughout their careers. You get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. Saints' run defense has always done really well, stymieing that offense. Fournette, I think, had 30 yards the last time they played. See if they can get any offense going on their own. Let's see, Texas pulling offensive lineman at 150K. But you can only play 5 of them at a time. Morning, Matt. Matt House for DC, and he's got a great first name. Yes, indeed. Ghastly Gamer, A&M doesn't have any spots open now. Yeah, I know people keep asking that, and I've told you all I just flatly don't know what their number situation is, like what they backfilled. Some of y'all have said that, but if they're done, then okay. If they're still pursuing guys, maybe transfers, I don't know. I don't know how to make it work. Do you like Jameson Caskmate? That's always my pour for nightcap. I don't, Glenn, and I have a bottle of it actually. I'm not a big fan of Jameson. I don't love Irish whiskey to begin with. The Caskmates is the one that's finished in the stout barrels, right? Not a big fan of it. But that's just my own personal sensibilities. Brandon Reese would be nice if we're able to somehow get Harold Perkins. Yes, indeed. Kyle Milliken, Matt, I know you don't look at the AFR chat, but since the Brian Kelly hire, there's been a huge uptick in Bama fans in the AFR chat. Thoughts? I think it's pretty normal, right? I mean, wouldn't you, if you're an opposing fan base, you'd be interested in what the fans of that school think about their hire? I mean, I think that's normal. I mean, I know a lot of LSU fans that go read like A&M chats and stuff like that. Do you think we would start games better in the first half? But the other thing I'll tell you, Kyle, too, is like the amount of, again, like the amount of people that are watching live on YouTube, which typically between like 200 and 600, I would say, concurrently, that are watching normally on AFR on YouTube, and still a much smaller percentage are commenting. It's not an accurate sample size to decipher anything, if that makes sense. It's such a small sample, but whatever. Chris Roy, do you think we'd start games better in the first half if Easton and Gaines started the game? That's a good question. Maybe. If there are those options, we'll play with his rotations. Let me see. I'm trying to think what you would do. I mean, Easton and Gaines both played 28 minutes last night. Only Pinson played more, who played 35. So who knows, man? Maybe those guys prefer to come off the bench. And it's not like you're waiting long to get him in the game. So maybe it's worth a look. Maybe you put Gaines out there to start. You put Murray on the bench. I could get down with that maybe. But Murray is much more of a scoring option than Gaines. Because Murray can shoot. Gaines can't. Gaines is a better defensive player. So, I don't know. Scott Dickerson, sweet. George Dickel. I like Dickel. I think Dickel gets a bad name for people. Keith H. Heard LSU will be signing wide receiver Kanata Mumfield from the portal. Can you confirm? I can't. Sorry. Brandon Reese, as long as Denbrock and House can recruit, I'd be good with the hires. Trivia Carter, Saints are trash as long as your starting quarterback is Hill or it's Simeon. Not true. Simeon. You left out a few vowels. Let's see. Is Matt House a lock and is he any good? I don't know that, but I trust Football Scoop. Football Scoop also reported that Brad White was in town from Kentucky, and he was. They didn't get a deal done, so nothing's ever done until it's done, right? But I'd be good with it. Craig Dugas just recently got the Masters Keep 17-year bottle and bond and the Toasted. Also got Weller CYPB. Christmas is going to be fun with all the bottles I'll be popping. Very nice, very nice. Jared Termine, do you have a bottle that's off limits to visitors to your house? Nope. Kyle DeVille, as a Cowboys fan, I'm pulling for the Saints. I bet you are. Cade Galt, LSU fans, give Brian Kelly time. Stop worrying about Alabama. I-10 closed today. 1,200 to 500 plan ahead. Oh, 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock plan. I-10's closed. Where on I-10? Craig Dugas, Woodward needs to hire an NIL director to get the ball rolling. Craig, you got to remember, the school can't facilitate NIL deals. So LSU can't hire somebody to do that. Right. So the organization has to come from outside. Paying players is going to ruin college sports. Hey, Keith. Players have been paid forever. Like, do you realize the reason LSU doesn't claim the 1908 championship is because there were accusations of professionalism, meaning players are paid. Come on, bro. As long as there's been college sports, players have been paid. Nothing has changed. You have the haves and the have-nots. It's no different than it was. Come on, bro. Like, stop this whole paying players is going to ruin college sports as if players haven't been paid forever in college sports. You have a basketball coach that's on a federal wiretap talking about making a strong-ass offer to a player. Come on, man. Like, you still care, and you know what's going to happen when LSU plays Florida State in the Superdome in September? You're going to be watching. And when LSU scores a touchdown, you're going to cheer, and you're not going to say, man, that sure would be great if they weren't paying players. You're going to watch regardless. That's so annoying. Oh, it's going to ruin college football. No, it's not. It's been happening forever. You're just hearing about it now. It's the same thing. It's the same people, the same programs that have been paying players. Let's see. Darren Gagnon. Hope everything went well with your family. Thank you. Watching men's basketball last night. Hope lack of outside shooting doesn't bite us when we start SEC play. It will, Darren. But does that mean you can't win? You just got to win a different way. LSU wasn't a good shooting team last year, but they were also a terrible defensive team. This is a great defensive team, which is going to keep them in many other games. Bowman Brothers cash strength, one Breaking Bourbon's Whiskey of the Year. Not huge on Bowman Brothers. And cash strength for me is typically a little too strong. So I'm interested in this. The E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, uncut, unfiltered. That's probably a little hot for my sensibilities, but it's an E.H. Taylor, so you see anything in that sleeve, you grab it. John Truxler, Garrett McGee. Why aren't we able to keep up with A&M and Alabama as far as NIL goes? They're better organized. Craig Dugas, Redbreast, the only Irish whiskey I actually enjoyed. Let's see. If LSU can't hire someone to facilitate NIL, can it be organized by TAF? No. It would have to be done outside of the university. Come on, Matt. Wade's strong-ass offer was a piece of his world-famous pie. Yes, you're right. That's exactly what it was. Kyle DeVille. Matt, love the analogy. If we had just had kids that bleed purple and gold, we were Vanderbilt. That's what you are. Like, or Kyle, or you're what LSU was for 45 years. A team that was never going to compete nationally. You have got to be able to go get the best players in the country. It doesn't matter about allegiances. You think Alabama gives a damn that Bryce Young's from California didn't grow up rooting for the Tide? Guy just won the Heisman Trophy. Come on, man. You think Alabama fans are miffed that Jamison Williams didn't grow up in that bleeding crimson and white? No. They got a receiver to train. Are y'all pissed that Joe Burrow didn't bleed purple and gold? No, man. He was an Ohio State fan his whole life. He's from Ohio. Go get the best players. Win. That's what it's about. Got to get guys who bleed purple and gold. No, you don't. Got to get guys who can play. You got to get guys who can lock down Alabama receivers and who can burn Alabama corners, who can block Alabama defensive ends. Elliot Botts, with all this NIL talk, do we need to worry about basketball and baseball? Will we fight Mississippi State to keep Cruz or Kentucky to keep Tari Eason? Well, Tari Eason's probably going pro after this year. And, yeah, I don't think there's any program that puts more into baseball than LSU. And I don't know that you're going to have baseball NIL deals because if you have the elite prospects that want to get paid, then they'll just go play minor league baseball. Yeah. It's a different structure because they have options. Brian Russell, I refuse to believe there's more money in Alabama than there is in Louisiana and Texas, where LSU supporters are. LSU needs to get on it. So, it's not necessarily about having more money. It's about Nick Saban being organized and getting whatever he wants. And there is way more money in Texas than here. That's not even debatable. Maybe Will Wade needs to run the football's NIL program. Voodoo, Matt, seen a couple people saying Kelly actually likes Pete's and is considering keeping him on staff as a position coach. Have you heard anything about that? What's your thoughts? No, I do not believe that's going to happen. Glenn Garner, everyone please rewatch the Saints-Bucks game. Thomas was the problem and Breeze shouldn't have played, didn't look right. Breeze was absolutely hurt. I'm not going to rewatch that game. And by the way, Michael Thomas was hurt as well, playing on a gimpy ankle, and credit him for fighting back through it to be on the field, despite having that ankle that bothered him the entire year. Alex Barnes, my mom signed a contract with another contractor, and they still haven't started. I told her about Hudco. She's very interested. Can she switch after having signed a contract? Yes. Alex, it's a great question. The contract that you sign with any roofer is not legally binding. The contract effectively allows that roofer to speak to your insurance company on your behalf. But yes, at any point you can switch. 100 bajillion%. So please, Alex, if your mom is interested, tell her she can even email me directly, if you matt@hudcoroofing.com, and I'll help facilitate for her. Yes. But just call the current roofer and say, I'm switching companies. Please stop calling. Kyle Brown, Matt, with recent profile HBCU hires, was SU big enough? Yeah, you hire within your budget. And I mean, if you're talking about Dion or Eddie George, those are outliers. Really concerned about the Saints missing their starting tackles. Should be. I am too. What's the best pour would say for a small budget pour? P-O-U-R, I guess, pour. Like a whiskey. I always tell people Elijah Craig small batch is $27. Sazerac Rye is $25. Basil Hayden is right around $30. It's three very different profiles, all for under $30. Try the Wilderness Trail yellow label behind him. Weeded bourbon, that's good stuff. That is the barrel pick from Bourbon Side of Baton Rouge. It's very good. Do you think Max Johnson is talking with Bucci to get him to play for A&M? They had a lot of success together. I do not. Tony Janusa, I've never really been a college basketball fan, but this LSU team is exciting to watch. Can't wait to see what they can do against quality SEC opponents. And y'all, it's going to be a grind out the chute in the league. But for perspective, y'all, Arkansas lost last night to, but hang on, I'll tell you Arkansas lost to Hofstra last night, 89-81. Florida lost to a SWAC school. It's hard to win and to go. Nobody goes undefeated in college basketball, but even the best teams in this league, as good as Bama is, they've lost twice. They lost to Iona and to Memphis. Remember they lost to Iona with Patino. So it's hard to win. It's almost possible to go undefeated. But LSU starts at Auburn, which is going to be brutal. Home against Kentucky. Home against Tennessee. At Florida. Home against Arkansas. At Bama. At Tennessee. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of your first 7 league games, 6 of your opponents are currently ranked, and the one who's unranked, Florida, is on the road at the O'Connell Center. They have been ranked this year before they lost to SWAC school. So it's going to be tough out to shoot, man. They got no favors early. James Metvin. Morning, Matt. I believe LSU is going to get Harold Perkins. I hope you're right. Glenn Garner. I can't get the jingle out of my head. Bring it, bro. Okay.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone, Ontario.
All you need is Hudco.
Call Hudco Roofing.
364.
1007.
Right. There it is. All right, 10 more minutes. Then I got to get ready for church. Jay Wells. I'm from Kayshawn's hometown. Everyone here knows he's leaving. Well, his dad said he wasn't. And I think there's a real possibility of it, Jay. I do. I think there's a very real possibility he leaves. NIL, now it's legal. I like it. Drew Goodrich. Morning, Scone. Why has Catholic been trying their hardest to beat Curtis all these years? Just kidding, bro. Have a good morning. I don't think they beat Curtis in the state championship a couple years ago, where I lost my spot. I'd go roofing jingle ASAP. Brandon Reese. LSU offered another O-lineman named Tremont Short. Saw that from East Tennessee State. Love it. Another potential starter transfer. Can you not hear Drew? He's watching a video from Christmas morning last year when Eric was going, "Oh my goodness, Drew, come see Santa came." And so he's reenacting it right now. I don't know if y'all can hear him. Danny Bragg, what's your sweet spot for price for whiskey? I don't like spending more than $50 on a bottle, unless if it's something that's really worth it, But like I don't pay $200-300 a bottle. I just don't pay. It's just not worth it. There's too much good stuff, $50 or less, to spend ridiculous amounts of money on whiskey. Would you like one and done in college football? Sure, Stuart, but I just don't think that that's feasible. There's just the physicality is just different. There's not many guys that at 18, 19 years old are ready to go play in the NFL against grown-ups, against adults. I don't want Rudy. I want a championship caliber athlete. What do you know about Matt House? Not much. I remember you talked about the whole alliance thing a few months back, and you said you wouldn't be surprised if the SEC went independent. Do you think the SEC should do that and play a conference? No, I didn't say the SEC would go independent. I said college football eventually is going to be a homogenous blend of the best programs. That's where it's going to head, because there's going to be too much value therein, and the NCAA is going to be rendered irrelevant. That's going to happen. In what time frame? Don't know, but that's going to happen. Like in our lifetime, we will see a day where college football is not played under the NCAA's banner, and where the Power Five or the top 50, 60 programs, whatever it is, breaks away and has their own league, independent of what we know it now to be. Trivia, I know I'm going to get hate, but I would love to see Grambling and Southern become big Division I schools with championship-type football program. I don't know why you get hate with that. It's just not realistic because the schools don't have the resources to invest in coaches and facilities to build up to that level. So just be the best at what you can be. Trivia. I'm sorry, Voodoo. Matt House would be great. Hires DC. Hope they can actually finish a deal with him. By the way, smash the like button if you haven't yet. 250 watching there. Appreciate y'all on YouTube. And 91 hanging out with us still on Facebook. Appreciate that. Let's see. Darren, any early predictions for baseball in 2022? Love the shirt, by the way. I know I've said this here before, but I'll say it again. So I had a scout tell me, said this LSU baseball team looks like the 27 Yankees. Obviously, it was being facetious, but essentially saying this team hits the crap out of the ball, and if they can figure out their starting rotation, they should be in Omaha, which I think is realistic. Let's see, Sean Anthony Berthelot, with LSU men's basketball being very good on defense and average on offense, seems like there will be a lot of good under bets coming. Remember, this team can score. They just score in a different way, right? Like they score in transition. They turn you over. They get to the rim and finish or get to the free throw line. They just don't have a lot of good jump shooters on this team. They score just in a different way. LSU's averaging. LSU's averaging 78 points a game. Hey, bud. They're allowing 53 a game. Hey, Drew, come see. You want to come say hi to Dad's show? Come say hi to Dad. Drew, Dad show? No. Gone. He used to love y'all. I used to love her, but I had to kill her. Remember that Guns N' Roses song? Apparently it's about a dog. I used to love her, but I had to kill her. I had to put her 6 feet under. I can still hear her complain. Let's see. Ivan Salazar, culture change would be for the state of Louisiana to rise to the top on percent of vaccinated folks. God. We're not talking about COVID here, Ivan. Have a nice day. Trivia, we can't get Ask E-Rock today. E-Rock is late. Well, she's coughing right now, and I got to go. I'm going to church at 11:30, so I got like 2 more minutes here, so I'm going to go quick. When is Tommy Moffitt starting with guarantee? I don't think Tommy Moffitt's going to be a guarantee, but he'll be able to do whatever he wants. Carl the Cat, what? No Hudco Roofing TV commercial with Santa on a roof? Not a bad idea. Get Terrio in a Santa outfit. Let's see. Drew Goodrich, that doesn't mean they're on Curtis level. Oh, they're Their, right. So apparently Curtis doesn't teach grammar. That would be They apostrophe, and they are. It's a contraction combining 2 words using an apostrophe. Anyway. Is Winston completely broken? It looked bad. Jameis didn't look bad. Oh, you mean the injury looked bad? He'll be back. Brian Russell. Everybody's freaking out about folks leaving. Just as they leave, we can pick up others. And all those guys at Bama and A&M won't stay and wait their turn. I mean, there's truth to where you have to use the portal to your benefit. The same that you're going to lose guys, you're going to gain guys as well. And they're doing that. I mean, look, you go get the offensive lineman, Miles Frazier. They offered the other kid from East Tennessee State. offensive linemen. Like, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more even after spring ball. Remember, like, players enter the portal after spring, so there's gonna be a whole nother wave of players available. So yeah. Rowing Bears. Any other Louisiana boys want to go roll with the Tide? We get rings. Kind of want to block you for that, jerk face. I mean, it's true, but I very much look forward to the day when Nick Saban leaves Alabama and you all delve back into the depths of mediocrity where you existed with the likes of Mike Shula and Dennis Francione and Mike DuBose. Oh, those are going to be fun days. Watching y'all suck again. Trivia timed out the Bama fan. Trivia got all mad because that guy's up here trolling. That's so good. Axel Scone appearing live. No, not even gonna try it. Never mind. Not even gonna try it. You know, warm up the vocal cords before I do patience. Former LSU and UTSA QB Lowell Narcisse, also in the transfer portal. Give me him taking over for the Raging Cajuns since they'll be losing senior Levi Lewis. That'd be a good fit. That would be a really good fit. Matt, calling Baton Rouge is a good tune, but the Hudco jingle is easier to dance to. Now, that's true. Very true. Got a little Scott Stapp sound in the Axl Rose. All right, we are done, y'all. We're done. Okay, as always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. If you need an orthopedic, you go to Brock. Their primary location inside the Surgical Specialty Center. They're open today, the after hours clinic. So if you're watching while the Saints are playing tonight. If you're jumping up and down to celebrate a fantasy win and you land and twist your ankle, don't go to the ER, go to Brock. And of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. I'm really hopeful of the 224 on YouTube and the 84 on Facebook. That's over 300 people watching concurrently right now. Somebody among these 300, either you, a family member, a neighbor, a friend, somebody that you know here within our 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, somebody here needs a roof. Needs a roof inspection, has a tarp, had damage due to Ida, whatever it is. Go to HudcoRoofing.com, please. Help us spread the word. HudcoRoofing.com. You fill out the contact form on the homepage. Boom, you're immediately in our system. You can call the phone number as well. 364-1007. You hear me do it all the time. 364-1007. You can call that too. But you go to HudcoRoofing.com, you're automatically in our system. We would love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection, licensed, bonded, insured, all that stuff. Of course, everybody is. If you're not, then you shouldn't be doing work. Or you can even just email me directly, matt@hudcoroofing.com, and I'll help facilitate for you, matt@hudcoroofing.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Who dat? Please smash the like button on your way out. Like the page, share the post, Facebook. We'll see y'all. Peace. Have an awesome day.